What made you realize that something you always did wasn't normal? Who's the best villain you've watched in a movie or series? What's the stupidest thing you ever did for a guy/girl? Put them before my mental health. We're all responsible for taking care of ourselves. Gave up a position with the Secret Service for a woman I thought I was going to marry. A year later, she was living in Nevada with her soon-to-be husband. Baked cookies and created this 100 Things I Love About You jar with small bits of paper to open every day for a new reason, so my ex could see the amazing traits he had and what I admired. This was supposed to be a V-Day gift, but he canceled plans to see friends instead. LOL. Valentine's Day. Notorious for being a day to skip the partner and hang with the bros. Valentine's Day is for the boys. Well, for me, Valentine's Day has always been for the boys, but it's different reasons. I used a plastic gun to rob a fast food place so I could keep up our lifestyle. I got arrested. 1981. Wow. If you don't try and rob a fast food place, do you really love them? I wrote, "I love you," with the spray can in front of the windows of a girl I liked. And then this inscription was washed away by rain after half an hour. P.S. She only saw streaks of paint, like cringe in the rain. In 3rd grade, I managed to get my hands on $20. I genuinely can't remember how. But anyways, I was at the state fair and got one of those real gold rings with the engraving of a loved one or something. So with all the brain power I had, I decided to propose to my crush. So after getting the ring, with her name spelt wrong, I went to school with no doubt in my mind about this brilliant idea. I told literally all of my friends and they were all on board. So after lunch, I went up to her, only expecting 2 or 3 people to stop by and watch. Then the entire school, in gender order, goes behind me and my soon-to-be engaged crush. Turns out that all of my friends told one person and the news proceeded to spread like wildfire. After a good minute of stalling, she said yes, most likely because of peer pressure. I then proceeded to leave her a month later for some girl I met on Roblox that lasted for an hour. Oh, buddy, how do you fumble that so bad? Like you had it? You were golden. Made a baby. Worst investment ever. Hey, that's what my dad called me. Not too dumb, but walked around for an hour with a heavy backpack in another country trying to find a specific tea she asked me to bring back. I mean, if that doesn't scream dedication, I don't know what does. What are your opinions on someone with no social media? Made a wise choice. Definitely a plus to the mental health. Smart. What used to be normal is now mysterious. No big deal. Apparently, they prefer to socialize in real life, and I'm fine with that. They're unnaturally healthy. Huge congrats to them. I automatically respect them if they're not a prick about it, but I'm always curious on why so. Since I used to be that person too, LOL. They're probably happier in general. I'd rather my grandparents did not have social media. Yeah, probably the best course of action. They are either extremely arrogant or the most down-to-earth person. Unfortunately, there is no middle ground. It depends on how frequently they mention it. If they're trying to put themselves on a high horse just because they don't use social media, yeah, keep it steppin', bozo. What is glorified in our society but shouldn't be? Lack of sleep and overworking oneself. We need rest and we need hobbies. Yeah, I'm sorry to all those folks that say you need to work 90 hours a week. No, I'm actually good having a life, thanks. The Instagram beauty standard. I don't know how to phrase this, but basically the Instagram baddie trend has young girls wearing so much makeup, injecting their faces, and getting surgery so early in their lives. Exposure. People filming every single action of their life and exposing family/friend to get views online. It is very strange because now more than any other time in history that I can think of, people are just grasping for that 15 minutes of fame, so they'll do anything and embarrass anyone they want. Online prank videos. Are those still a thing, or is my algorithm safe? Like, showing up to work while sick. My favorite is that most food service jobs do not care how sick you are. If they don't have anybody else on the schedule, you're coming in, vomit and all. Alcoholism. Blacking out multiple times every weekend is insane to me. I think I've only blacked out once from drinking, and that was like a complete mistake. Normally when I drink, I get to that point of, ooh, I feel nauseous, and I stop. Influencers. Even just the name is a little off-putting, right? Like these people are getting paid to influence other people. Like it's kind of just new marketing, right? Overworking. Loyalty to for-profit companies. Understand that you as a human being do not owe your life to any company at all, unless, you made it, but that's different. Having kids/being a parent, it's not for everyone, and that it should be okay. I mean, come on, having a child in this economy? Please. What is something you can't believe people like? like? People who are enamored by currently incarcerated murderers. The fact that people write fan letters or letters of love to people who have murdered their spouse and loved ones is insane to me. Being into true crime is fine, but if you're sending love letters to actual murderers, like, please seek help. The plastic surgeon who is making all celebrities look like clones of each other. People tattooing their eyes. I will admit it looks kinda cool, but oh god, I could never do that. Like, nothing touching my eyes, please. Watching a random stranger's family life on social media. Those family YouTube channels are so, like, creepy to me. The kids don't really get a choice in the matter most of the time, so it's icky. Filler injected, gigantic fake lips. I must have missed the memo because I do not remember when it became giant lips equals beautiful. Like, what happened? Child beauty pageant events. Insane that we still do this today, and no, it's the drag shows that are the problem. Yeah, not these. Comically large eyelashes. Those snuffleupagus lashes. I did not know that's how you spelt his name because this whole time I thought it was snuffleupagus, not snuffleupagus. Watching people suffer as a joke. Well, it depends on what you mean by suffer. If you mean like falling down videos, then those are funny. Come on, you can't lie. Ridiculously long fake nails and eyelashes. The nails I'll never understand. I got like a really cheap set of like press-on nails and oh, it just felt horrible to have that peeling on your real nails. Love Island. Pretty much any dating reality TV show in general isn't great, but I mean, some people enjoy it. Which series should everyone watch? Planet Earth. Given the question isn't age specific, I second this. Works for all ages contrary to the vast majority of the other answers. Chernobyl. Look, I'll get to it. God. Severance. Just finished the 3rd episode. A cell phone was ringing. I'm feeling uncomfortable and riveted. I've heard nothing but good things about Severance and the idea around it seems pretty cool, so I'll try it when I can. 6 Feet Under. Futurama. Are they still making a new season? Is that a thing or did I like make that up? Fleabag. Love it. Just love it. I recently watched Fleabag and my god, I've probably said this before, but definitely watch this show. Oh, it hurts me so bad, but it's so good. Mindhunter. The first episode had me stuck at the screen. Just do it. The Good Place. I can definitely understand not everyone would like this show, but it is pretty funny. Avatar: The Last Airbender. If you haven't seen The Last Airbender, then what are you doing? Leave. Go watch it now. What sounds like the name of a US state but isn't? New England. That one is a little tricky because a lot of people just consider Massachusetts New England, but it's not really. It's the 13 colonies that were there. Like, I don't remember all of them, but you get it. Columbia. I guess it sounds like a state, but I don't know where it would be. East Virginia. Well, if we have West, we might as well have an East. Omaha. I can see this one. It would probably be somewhere near Ohio, right? Puerto Rico. Damn you for taking my answer. I suppose I'll say Guam. New Vegas. I can tell what game you've been playing recently. Oregano. Yeah, I know it's oregano, but it looks like they're going for an Oregon joke, so whatever. Costco. Welcome to Costco. I love you. I'll be deep in the cold, cold ground before I recognize Missouri. All I know is if you're going to Missouri, you're getting misery. Pennsatucky. You know what? Yeah, I give that a pass. Tupperware. Well, where would that be? Parents of Reddit, what is the creepiest thing your child has said to you? As I was leaving for work, my daughter said, "Bye, Daddy. Have a good day. I hope you don't get shot," and then went back to playing with her toys. Oh, that's so sweet and not ominous at all. My youngest daughter has always had a fear of the water that's gotten better as she's gotten older. But when she was a toddler, it would have been easier to baptize a rabid cat than try to give her a bath. One night at around age 3, I was doing my routine of trying to get her in the tub to wash off when she said to me, "I scared of the water. It's how I died before." Yeah, the bath definitely didn't happen that night. Kids just say the scariest possible things, don't they? When my daughter was about 3, she used to sing a song about how she was going to chop up her mama and put her in the bin. My wife was slightly wary of her. "Is your daughter called Pete by chance?" "Mom, can I have your phone to take a picture of the birds in the yard?" "Sure. I want to go squish those birds and kill them and hang them on our wall." "Ethan!" "No, Mom, it's okay. It's just for decorating the house." Went to check on my 5-year-old daughter who was asleep. She rolled on her back, still asleep, and said, "I must not eat humans. Humans aren't food," before rolling back over. I mean, it's better than them saying, "I must eat humans." When my daughter was about 4 to 5, she said, "Before I was with a mommy that didn't take care of me, so God took me away from her and gave me to you and Daddy." Mind you, we are not religious people, and she was not adopted adopted. That gave me the chills. When my daughter was around 3, she had an imaginary friend named Mike. One day, she said Mike had to go home, and when asked where he lived, she said in the church under our apartment with other people. We lived on the first floor, and there was nothing under our building. Going to bed one night, they told me an owl was watching from the window. Like, hell nah. I watched Encounters of the Fourth Kind. I know those ain't owls. Not looking out the window, LMAO. When my child was very feverish, he started hallucinating. Sat up with an arched back, 3 in the morning, pointing to the dark hall. Look, everyone is here. Say hello to them. They are here for us. You know, I think this thread of answers really is the best birth control. I'm not a parent, but apparently I solved a cold case when I was like 3 after I said something like, the boy told me he's sleeping under the porch, and then led them to an exact spot where a kid was buried. I have no recollection of this, but my parents swear by it. What food makes the worst leftovers? Probably a lot of fast food. It's so weird to microwave it. Toast. You know, yeah, I mean, really, if you make toast, you should just eat it then. Anything with lettuce. Dressed lettuce. I do prefer my lettuce naked, thanks. I think leftover green bean casserole is gross. It gets watery and the fried onions get soggy. That's a fair point. If the fried onions are getting all goopy, then I don't want it. McDonald's. You get one shot at it, and it's about 2 minutes after they give it to you. After that, the window closes. French fries. They always get super soggy, LMAO. You could try air frying. I've heard that kind of helps with the crispness, but it's so much work. A bowl of Cheerios. Let me go a step further and just say a bowl of any cereal, because if you leave that sitting in milk stewing up all night, oh, that's disgusting. Eggs. Sunny side up or poached in particular. Cold runny yolk. Blah. 2-day-old leftover salmon heated in the office microwave for lunch. There's some food safety issue I feel with this. I just don't know what exactly. Loaded Mexican nachos. I love them, but I can't eat a whole order in one sitting. Yes, I'm a wimp. The leftovers are awful, and that makes me sad. Anything with fish. I've tried eating sushi leftovers, and it is such a dangerous game. Who do you think is the most gifted actor of all time? I'd like to nominate my ex. Shout out to my ex, Gary Oldman or Christian Bale. Both have massive acting ranges, have no problems flipping between wildly different personalities and accents, and portray their characters in a way that almost seems like they are not acting. Christian might edge out Gary just because he has completely 180'd his body composition for back-to-back roles a few times, but Gary has played a slightly wider array of nationalities and archetypes. Ralph Fiennes. His role as Eamon Goeth speaks for itself. I'm trying my best to say these names, but what, like, come on. Gary Oldman. Yeah, I think there is a rule that if you end up forgetting your native accent because you're so good at being other people and you have to relearn how you used to speak, it kind of puts you on another level. Alan Rickman would like a word. Willem Dafoe. William H. Macy, one of the most extremely underrated actors in the industry. He managed to pull off playing a very sweet and goofy dork in Wild Hogs that it's impossible to hate him, and yet he also manages to play a despicable and horrible person who doesn't deserve to be called a father in Shameless. People do need to put more respect on William's name because he's put in really good work in most of the roles I've seen him in. Philip Seymour Hoffman. I think Robert De Niro and Jack Nicholson are once-in-a-lifetime talents. Toni Collette. I do need to watch more of her movies because her role in Hereditary, it's so good. Robin Williams. He could play a serial killer or randomly riff for 4 hours about horseshoes. Truly a gifted genius. What do you hate the smell of? Bin juice. The liquid left in the bottom of bins. Evil. Hateful. It's always a mystery liquid too, because you don't remember putting something liquidy in the trash, but then it just shows up there. Poultry slaughterhouses. I'm a trucker and I'm in and out of these facilities across the lower 48, and most slaughterhouses smell awful, but by far, poultry is the worst. Rotten potatoes. Not sure if I've really smelt rotten potatoes before, because normally I just throw them away before they get really disgusting. Dog anal secretion. I feel so bad for the dog groomers or just animal groomers in general that have to do it, because God, I will not. I refuse. Ugh, cat pee. Like, one of these days we gotta figure out how to make it stop, right? Cheap old lady perfume, especially when in an elevator, makes my throat close up. Bradford pear trees. Had to do a quick Google, but seeing them, yes, these trees were all around my hometown, and yes, they do smell. Bad breath. Chronic coffee drinker breath. So nasty. I have noticed when I drink coffee, my breath smells disgusting and I do not know why. Ever worked in a paper mill? No, I have not. Why do you say that? A mouthful of rotten teeth that inevitably belong to someone with no regard for personal space. Some people have to know their breath smells horrible, right? They just don't care anymore. Squirrels cooking in a crock pot overnight. How did the squirrels learn to do that? What phrase needs to be retired forever? In these unprecedented times, it's been multiple years. There is precedence. And go. When requesting recommendations on something. Yes! This makes me stabby as hell. I'll purposely avoid answering or helping in any post like that because I hate it so much. It's giving main character energy, but no one likes them. I understand you're asking for a phrase, but the only MF thing I can think of is that annoying. Oh no, oh no, oh no, no. Song on TikTok. Please stop using it, please. You know, I'm actually now mad at you. I forgot about that because it hasn't been on my TikTok feed in so long, but now that it's manifested into the universe, I will only get that song. Thanks. Fetch. Like, it's just not going to happen at this point. For real, at this point, stop trying to make fetch happen. It's not going to happen. I did a thing. Insert brag/brag picture. This, that. Weirdly, I'm fine with that. It's a change in the formula. Louder for the people in the back. I understand why people say it, but on the internet, like, it doesn't really translate the best. Tell me blank without telling me blank. Especially on Twitter, these have just become interaction bait, and it's really irritating. I was today years old. You can say how old you are. You can say your age. Goat. Everyone is the goat. That it has lost its impact. If everyone's the goat, then no one's the goat. What ingredient do you think immediately destroys a dish once it's in the food? I had a cake once that had fondant on the inside. I picked it off the outside, cut into the cake, and was like, is this fondant on the inside? Took a bite, and yep, it was. Tossed it and saw other people were doing the same thing. Cake makers, stop using fondant. No one likes it. For me, it's lavender. I've tried several lavender-infused things, all of which felt overpowered and floral. I got nothing. I'm culinarily promiscuous. I like it all. Liquid smoke, just keep it away from me. Fennel, generally anything that gives off a licoricey or anise taste, I am not a fan of because it tastes like black licorice, and that is my least favorite thing ever, I think. Too much time really F's up a dish beyond repair, as does too much time. Rose water. I'm Persian, and you've written off like 70% of my favorite desserts. Canned mushrooms. God, just the thought of that feel like, ugh, that's like giving me the ick. Cilantro. It's in my DNA. I can't help it. Look, it's not your fault. You're on the wrong side of history, but it's not your fault. Raisins. The only thing I can tolerate raisins in is cinnamon raisin bread. Otherwise, just, oh, they're so creepy. I don't know why. What's the best animated show you've watched? Oh god, that's a hard one. I don't know. Batman the Animated Series. Probably still Futurama. Avatar The Last Airbender. Even its sequel, Legend of Korra, was pretty dope. While I'm not the biggest fan of how they took the story in Korra, it's still really good. Violet Evergarden. The Ugly Tears prove it. Over the Garden Wall. Something about that show just gives you that nice cozy feeling. Maybe it's Elijah Wood. I don't know. The first 10 seasons of The Simpsons. I have to go Boondocks on this one. Animaniacs. It's good, but the greatest show ever? It like depends on your taste, I suppose. Adventure Time. I love Adventure Time, but I watched it when I was younger, and I don't remember where I would have left off, and I heard there's more stuff that happens closer to the end, so I'm a little intimidated to jump back. Archer. I've heard nothing but good things, but to me, the art style, like, puts me off for some reason. I can't explain it. What was cool in the 2000s, but not anymore? Wearing a single colored hair extension to spice up your hair. See, us youngins now, we're bold enough to just dunk our head into bleach. Having a cool ringtone. Having a ringtone. It's kind of a jump scare anytime I hear other people's ringtones because my phone is always on silent, and if it makes a sound and I didn't want it to, I freak out. Like this or like this for everything. Wink. I hope that's like the closest audio representation of that typing. Burning CDs. Just got external CD drive for Christmas. Well, you still gotta hope that it's not just a read, it is also a write. Because if it can't write, then you can't burn. LimeWire. Kazaa. Light. I heard about Kazaa, never heard of Light, but did use LimeWire. Technology that was made see-through like computers, phones, game consoles. Still want them to come back, LOL. It It just looks so cool. I even went through the effort of going on Etsy to find a custom shell for my Nintendo Switch and managed to change it up because now it looks so much cooler. Being able to type text messages ridiculously fast. Edit, lots of replies from people who don't remember what texting in the 2000s involved. Kids today don't appreciate that S is one of the most frequently used letters and we had to press 7 4 times to get it. Charity wristbands. I heart these. I had an embarrassing amount of these. It was when like wristbands were cool in middle school, so you wore like too many. Leave me alone, okay? Turning into MTV and VH1, hoping to catch a glimpse of that hot new single. Used to record the newest videos on VHS even. Crazy when I think about it now. Guitar Hero. Although we still have clones of it here and there, they're nothing compared to the phenomenon that was Guitar Hero in the mid to late 2000s. Wearing skirts with jeans underneath. The Juno look. MySpace. I hope Tom's doing okay. I really do. Which comedian is actually just really crap? Andy Dick. I don't really know much of his comedy, but I've heard not great things about him. Brendan Schaub. Schaub? I don't know how you say it, but his comedy sucks either way. James Corden. Seems kind of like an Ellen in terms of trying to seem friendly on screen, but a bunch of people claim once the cameras turn off, he will glue himself to his phone. Not to mention, in terms of acting, he has little to no talent, and didn't he get super pissed off at a waiter while with Harry Styles? That's generally the sign of a horrible person if they have the capacity to scream or like get really uppity with a waiter at a restaurant. Like, come on, you're not that guy. This thread is like a 10-year retrospective of Reddit's most hated celebrities. Considering he is the highest paid comedian in the world, Kevin Hart isn't that funny. I could easily name 10 funnier comedians than him. The sad fact is that he used to be funnier, but now his jokes just revolve around his fame and height. It is kind of unfortunate watching a comedian really lean into their shtick, but if it works for him, go for it, I guess. Rebel Wilson, as much as it pains me to say as a fellow Australian female, even though he's a ventriloquist, Jeff Dunham, can't stand him. I can't believe he's still doing stuff. Like, the bit is done, Jeff. You can stop. Nick Cannon. I'm not sure if he's even meant to be a comedian, but a friend got free tickets to his stand-up show, and it was just pathetic. I walked out about 10 minutes into it. The last joke I heard was him saying he knew his last kid was his because the baby had a big dick. That was it. He was basically, I have a big Look, if you're gonna make a pee-pee joke, at least make it funny. Chelsea Handler paid $60 to see her stand-up this past November, and she was not even telling jokes. She was telling the stories from 2020. It was so bad and outdated, and to make matters worse, the very next night she was on Jimmy Kimmel repeating the same bad jokes from her show. What did you have in 2013 but not 2023? Childlike innocence and naivety. How I wish I could go back to this. No money, lots of time, lots of energy. Now it's the complete opposite. Dreams. Now I've lost hope and I'm just living day by day. My grandma, miss her. To give. You had them at all? I don't think I've ever had them. Hope. I'm sure you'll find it again one day. It is difficult, but you'll get there. Obsession with people who weren't gonna matter eventually. What is something people find normal, but you find horribly rude? When someone talks to you or asks you a question, then when I respond with a meaningful answer, the other person just talks about something else to someone else or just doesn't respond. That doesn't sound normal, that does just sound rude. Depending on culture, people will propose to meet up again, but they do not really mean it. Where I am from, if you tell someone you want to meet up again, you actually mean it. I learned it the hard way when I took people for their word and tried to arrange a meetup, but they'd ignore me. They say they do this to be polite, but I consider it more rude. Just say goodbye. I kind of do this unintentionally. It's more of like a I don't like saying no thing, and that's my problem to deal with. People just showing up for a surprise visit. Like, I love my family and friends, but sometimes I just don't want to hang out, and a bit of forewarning would be nice. Pushing someone's face into a cake on their special day. That is terribly rude. Not funny or cool. Yeah, and you ruin the cake for everyone else. Like, unless you have a backup cake, what are you doing? Expecting me to be within reach at all times. Just because I have a phone doesn't mean I hate you because I leave it in the other room sometimes or go on a walk without it. I'm not dead if I take a couple hours to get back to you. Base. I live in a densely populated neighborhood. Nobody else seems to care that one of the neighbors is constantly making our kitchens vibrate. When clients stand directly behind me, looking over my shoulder at my computer screen while I'm at work. 1. Back up. I don't want you standing close to me. 2. I did not invite you to look at my screen, and it is intrusive and it is uncomfortable to have you watch me work. When someone you don't know very well asks you personal questions, it is a little uncomfortable. Like, what, I met you yesterday and you're already asking my dog's social security number? Like, get out of here. Having your phone out while socializing. I've stopped hanging out with people who can't put their phone away while having a conversation. It's so rude. Gamers of Reddit, what's that one video game that is 100% perfect for you? BioShock. Weirdly, I still haven't finished the first BioShock, but I played all of the second one, Portal 2. Stardew Valley. Look, I like a farming sim here and there, but gosh, I can't commit that much time. Age of Empires 2. The Witcher 3. I love the storyline, the quests, and was a huge fan of Gwent. I was entranced the whole game. I did really like The Witcher 3, but gosh, there are so many quests, and I'm like a weird perfectionist, so if I can't do all of them, I'm gonna freak out. Legend of Zelda Ocarina of Time. Red Dead Redemption 2. It is a gorgeous game, and I'm sure the story's really good, but I don't know, Rockstar's formula doesn't work for me. I really enjoyed GTA 5 when it first came out. Oh, what, you didn't like it the third or fourth time it came out? Full Tilt. Pinball that was available on Windows XP computers. You didn't need to be online for hours of fun. Solitaire is a close second. What's normal at first, but gets more suspicious the longer someone does it? Looking at someone. It's normal to people watch, but if you're staring, please stop. I'm getting uncomfortable. Digging a hole during the day, then the sun goes down. It does get a little suspicious if you're digging a hole at night. Like, why do you need that hole dug right now, huh? What do you plan on putting in there? A new friend constantly helping you. I wonder what's this guy planning. Just drinking milk out of the carton. Like, say you have 3 cartons of milk in the fridge and you just stand there, door open, drinking through 3 cartons of milk, all the while making eye contact with someone. Reddit awards on a single post. First time I've seen a bait comment go unawarded. Nice. They're learning. Adjusting your balls. It's normal if you do it for a second. If you do it any longer, then you look like a creep. Sleeping. I mean, look, if someone's sleeping for a real long time, if they've got a pulse, you're good. Leave them for a little bit. They just need some rest. What small thing pisses you off? Reply all on 50-person work emails, followed only by 12+ person group texts. Triple anger/rage if people just reply thanks or great. Toasters that only toast one side of the bread correctly. Like, do I gotta calibrate my toaster because, like, it never does it right? When that little piece of skin peels back behind your nail bed. Ugh, yeah, nope, not a fan. Constantly being asked if I accept the cookies. You respond to those? I just leave the pop-up sitting there because I don't take cookies from strangers. Huge families who shop together and walk slowly. If you're gonna walk slow, like, move to the side, please. People in front of me walking slowly and leaving no room to overtake. They have to be doing it intentionally, right? Like, there's no other reason you need that much sidewalk. When a customer at work says, I hope they're keeping you busy, why would you hope that? Why would you want me to suffer more? People who I can hear chewing. I understand this one, but also not really, because I don't get super bothered by it, but if you do, I'm sorry. When people don't speed up on the ramp leading to the highway, shake my head. It really makes no sense, and people just seemingly want to cause an accident. People blasting their crappy music on board public transportation. I get that headphones can get lost or you don't want to buy new ones, but you can't subject people to that. Who's the best villain you've watched in a movie or series? Christoph Waltz in Inglourious Basterds is the first that came to mind. Homelander is definitely one of them. I found Kilgrave in Jessica Jones to be a fantastic villain. Are you the only person that's seen Jessica Jones? I don't know a single person in my real life that has watched that show. Joffrey in Game of Thrones. Let's all be honest. Mans did an outstanding job acting that we all hated him. Magneto. There are times when you are able to sympathize with him and his actions almost seem justified. Most likable villain in my opinion. Hans Gruber. Alan Rickman portrays him so well. Dolores Umbridge. Similar to the Joffrey thing, Imelda Staunton did an amazing job at making me want her to, like, disappear forever, if you know what I mean. Leo in Django was on point. I'm gonna have to rewatch Django because I know Leo did an amazing job. It's not as fresh in my mind. The iceberg in Titanic. The coldest criminal ever. And he's still out there, believe it or not. What made you realize that something something you always did wasn't normal. You know that high-pitched sound everyone always hears? Wait, you don't? Apparently, I have tinnitus. When I was very young, I thought it was normal to have blood on the toilet paper after pooping. Turns out it was hemorrhoids. Apparently, I have always had them. Yay! My mom is a yawn yeller. When she yawns, you can hear it from anywhere in the house. One time, my sister had a friend over, and we were in the basement. My mom yawned upstairs, and my sister's friend asked, "Was that a coyote?" Pre-bedtime cereal. I had a sleepover when I was a kid and was confused when we skipped bedtime cereal. That sounds like a very Hobbit thing of you, like, oh, second breakfast and oh, pre-bed cereal. For me, it was something I never did. In my 20s, I realized you're meant to make eye contact when talking to people. I was feral. I memorize events and people by textures they associate with in my head. Call it a vibe check or whatever. This sounds like a form of synesthesia. If you don't know what synesthesia is, I don't have time to explain it, so you can Google, right? Didn't realize my hair plucking was a symptom of OCD. Had a classmate of mine tell me they saw the thing I do on My Strange Addiction, and that was the first time I learned the name of my disorder. Talk to myself. I do it constantly. It's a habit brought on from spending a lot of time alone. I don't even consider it odd. It is normal to me. People will sometimes ask who I am talking to. I usually make a joke about it being because I only take advice from people I trust. It's not the weirdest thing I do, but it is the most common in public. Not being able to relax in my own house. I am on edge when my roommates are home. The only thing that makes me feel less stressed is when I know I'm alone. I jump when someone opens or shuts a door and tense when I hear footsteps. My therapist told me that is a trauma response, and that's how I knew it wasn't normal. Well, hopefully you're able to work through that. That's no fun. Alright, unfortunately I am all out of answers, so this is the end of the video. Thank you all once again for watching. My name has been Brandon, and I will speak into your brain another day. Bye!